And let's continue on, everybody. Again, we got this free agent offers out. All the staff bullshit is done. Stars fell apart. Boy, didn't they. Boy, didn't they. All right, Alexandra Denny Pepin has signed, which is good. Which is there. Which is good. There was a street where two dudes posed for the camera. I remember there's been a lot of freaking streets on GeoGuessr where people pose for the camera. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Pascal Colombe, welcome aboard. Tyson Winkler. All right, so as boring as that was, we are going to have a dynamite coaching staff. So that's good. That is good. We need the best training, too, that we can get. Yanni Yermo signs. Casper Putio. More scouts. Still waiting to hear from Antti Ranta. There it is. Heppo Niemi, Puistinen, perfect. So we got everybody that we were looking for. Fair enough. Fair enough. We got everybody that we were looking for. We still have $31 million to sign players. So really quickly, before that, unsigned. We're not going to sign Vahalati. Nico Martikainen can immediately go up to the AHL. When do I open up a P.O. box? I don't know if I will. I opened up one before because people are like, oh, open up a P.O. box. And I did. And then not much happened. So. All right. Let's see. We're up to 38 contracts now. $31 million. How are we on total defenders? I know we're good on goaltending. How are we on defenders? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we can get another defender or two. Am I allowing myself to sign whoever to flip? No. No. So yeah, I'm not gonna do like the I'm gonna sign Timo Meier and trade him for Rantanen type of thing. That I'm gonna hold off on doing. Because then it kind of defeats the purpose, right? Like, I don't want to get every good Finn. I want there to be a chase. You know, it's like I want there to be players that are just out of reach, perhaps, or that we finally end up getting. Or that we never end up getting, and it's like, shit, you know? Maybe they end up as the big what if. Can I please find a player? We'll bring back Talola. Bring you back for a year. I need one more defender. It won't be Kivihalme, of course. Just to avoid confusion. Anybody? Where are all the beautiful Finns? Where the hell did they go? Nick Almari. There we go. Sign him up too. All right, so from there, we just need some forwards to fill out the roster. We know that there aren't really any high overall players, so we can pretty much skip down to the 74s. You can double check some of the 75s. Who do we have? All right, Mr. Suomi. Let's bring him back. Do we have anybody else? I mean, we know we do. It's just a matter of scrolling down far enough to find them. Malte Stromwall is Swedish. And one of these days we'll have a sort by nationality option. That'll be pretty cool. Anton Lander is Swedish. Where the hell are all the Finns? There we go. Koivistoinen. Let's give you the big deal. Somebody needs a big money contract. Burke, Tiesdale. Ula Palve. Can bring you in. Why the heck not? Marcus Nurmi. Making sure that's the right guy, the right person. Does baseball have sort by nationality? I don't think so. But at least they still don't for the draft. It's a pain in the ass. Henrik Borgstrom. FIFA has it, but of course you would expect them to have it with how many different nationalities are in the game. This guy, Oli Palola. Bring you in. 35 going on 52. We can bring Tulola back in. His very serious face. I think that's 8 contracts, 9 contracts. Looks like a 9 to me. So we should be good. Magnus Pajärvi. Well, wait, it was Magnus Pajärvi Svensson. That's right. You see a name like Pajärvi, and you start to think. Like, I'm going to guess like one parent's a Swede, one parent's a Finn. That's my guess. Let's look up Magnus Pajärvi. While we wait for this to sim to the beginning of next season. But we add some Finns to fill out the roster. Let's see. I was born in Sweden while his father was the coach. Yeah, his maternal grandfather who was Finnish. Ah, yes. So his dad was a coach who was coaching in Sweden. But his family on his dad's side is Finnish. Good to know. That's a nice lesson for nobody who gave a fuck. But you're welcome. All right, Pool Party takes the qualifying offer. I can't imagine any of our RFAs would be getting offer sheets, so let's make sure that we have everybody. Olli Levy is the lone holdout. And we will sign him for a dirt cheap deal. He'll be an RFA next year as well. I strongly care for Magnus Pajärvi's family history, as you should. All right, so Season 2 already. We've made fairly quick progress. Huso, Ranta. Oh, God. Luukkonen needs to play a lot. We can go with Kakkonen for a third goalie. Defense. Ooh, Ville Heinola. Ville Heinola is our top defender now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That works for me. Aho's going to want a lot. Yeah, I mean, but we can afford it. So Järventie and Heponiemi will get dropped. Cody, take it easy. See you later. Sorry, I'm trying to... So Luosterainen and Haula could both play center. To make room for Järventie and Heponiemi can actually play center too. All right, cool. So, our ideal lines for the year, if we optimize this, get Kokoniemi in the middle. Probably want Heponiemi to be our fourth line center. Which means Haula or Luosterainen on the wing, and I'm not sure yet. What do we want to do here? Haula's face-off's 85. Luosterainen's a 73. So that'll be the setup at center. And to be honest, I really like the idea of playing Järventie with Aho. Just to try and let him develop. Obviously, we need to get Armia out of there. All right, well, Robbie Järventie, Sebastian Aho, Kasperi Kapanen, Luosterainen with Kokoniemi and Kiviranta, Teravainen, Haula, Puljujärvi, Puistonen, Heponiemi, and Armia. Now, Valtteri, 24-year-old low elite. We're going to have to switch Teravainen to the right wing. Because I need Puistonen to be in a higher role. Hate to say it, but it's got to be Essi Puljujärvi that gets dropped. So it'd actually be Järventie, Aho, Teravainen, Luosterainen, Kokoniemi, Kapanen, Puistonen, Haula, Kivi, Armia. That's not bad. That is a double IHF World Championship level finish roster. And then defense, Heinola, up top certainly works. Yeah. I mean, Heinola Thompson, Olli Levy, and Jaime Salmi. Mika Ristolainen, and then they were our top pairing last year, if I'm not mistaken. At least at one point. So we have already seen a tremendous amount of improvement for the outlook of this roster. And the wheeling and dealing was a great way to do it. We'll call up Ville Pukka to be the healthy scratch. And forward-wise, let's go with Maenalainen to be the healthy scratch there. So the AHL roster also shouldn't be that bad. We go best lines. The goaltending is obviously going to be outstanding. It's low-end NHL level. Prospect-wise, we want to get Mark Takainen in there. Puutio's there. Can we get Yanni Yermo on a higher line without really screwing it up? Yes, we can. And then forward lines. Again, Brad Lambert's on the team now, which is awesome. Tolola can be taken out at 25. Let's get Matika in there. Nurmi can be taken out for Haminaho. At center, we need Kasper Halttunen in. And left wing, we're good. So Simon Tyval to that top line. Halttunen and Lambert into the top six. Koivunen's a high 9. Haminaho's a high 9. Matika's a medium 9. That works for me. It does. It does. Not bad. How the hell did we turn this around so fast? At least to have like this decent ground level setup. All right, so we don't have Yardvinti on the power play. But that's okay. Power play was still looking pretty good. So the only thing to do now is to go through with those coaches and just optimize to make sure that we have the best possible chemistry here. Even though there is only one A coach, the rest are A minuses. Colombe is a 63. Winkler is a 60. Yeah, every single coach that we went after was there. So, I mean, we literally took all the top coaches of the class. We don't normally get that lucky. It looks like Colombe is going to be the option. Bourdon's a 63, but not for that role. Yeah. Sawatsky is a 63. So it's right now it's Sawatsky or Colombe. Right. Well, it makes sense for it to just be Colombe because we know it's not that bad. Oh, so power play. Let's go with Bourdon as the associate coach. We'll go with Sawatsky as the assistant. We are going to need a goalie coach. These two coaches are pretty much interchangeable. You know what? We'll actually keep that person as the NHL goalie coach. That's fine by me. Let's go with you as the associate coach. You're already the assistant coach. Let's move you to head coach. Just need a goalie coach for the AHL. And then we're good. My one fear, Seneca will take it easy as well. Appreciate you as always. My one fear for this team is that the coaching staff might make us better than we should be early on. Might cause us to win a few more games, but at the same time, is that necessarily that bad of a thing? But all right, we got some SHL scouts, obviously. We got to pretty much transfer everybody else over to Liga. And then we are good to go in terms of the more tedious aspects of this whole process. But we got to do it every year. Every year we got to do it. We know how it works. All right. It's a shame the Allsvenskan just doesn't. Between the Allsvenskan and rest of world being completely useless, hopefully they change that. Like, I'm not saying rest of world I want it to go back to, we have 17 Japanese players every 3 drafts because that is unrealistic. At the same time, hey, Japanese players would be fucking fun. But man, it shouldn't be completely barren, Right now, there's just nothing out of rest of world. You very rarely maybe get one option. But all right, coaching staff's good. Scouting, that's good to go. Roster move-wise, we're set. Don't need to change anything about the leadership roles on the team. I think we're good for another season. I think we are. Again, we'll have a similar question over our draft pick this year. And if there is somebody available to us, I do wonder. We start off our season against Anaheim. What are the grades for this season? 70, 74, 86. Well, one of these things is not like the others compared to 75, 70. Honestly, actually, it's not even that bad. Anaheim is apparently quite tragic. But who knows? I mean, we could even be trying to be intentionally bad and still might be better than some of these other options. But it is the moment of truth, the upcoming draft class. That complicates things a little bit. Skalefteos, Petri, Pettinen, and Ville Varakis on Rogla. Both in the SHL, mind you. So fair play about SHL being important. I don't know how we're going to land one of these, let alone 2. If we weren't to get either, it is the Aaron Kiviharu draft. Vitivsainen is here as well. Oh my god, Emil Hemming. Rupe Vesterainen. All right, well, this is going to be a good draft for us. It's just a matter of how good. After the first round, the answer's not very until you get to Emil Vinny, Timo Markkanen. There's a Hungarian in there. Jukka Nieminen, Petri Curry. Oh my god. There's a lot of Finns. There's a lot of Finns. I don't know what approach to take. I think we just leave it and go for it as is. But man, maybe we're too good too early for a draft that's good. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. This is going to be a very interesting draft. But given the state of our defense, I am trying to bank on we won't be a very good team. But you never know. And again, we are 1-3-1 to start the season. Bjorkqvist already injured for Tampere. Long season. We're off to a slow start, but we could still turn this around. So we won't judge. 3-4-3 to start the season. Let's go through the month of November as well. Obviously, it's only 10 games, too little to judge through October. Apparently, the class is going to be weaker than normal. That's not true. Glad this game knows what it's talking about. Right now, we're proven to be a fairly middle-of-the-road team. A fairly tough-to-beat team with all of these overtime losses. Teuvo Teravainen, an MCL sprain. What a tragedy that one of our best players just got hurt in a year that has a good draft class. What an absolute tragedy. However, will we survive? 8-11-5. Certainly not great. Aho's crushing it. We are currently second bottom in our division, just 1 point above the New York Islanders. Robbie Arventi, 9 points playing alongside Aho. So 23. Sakko Maenalainen, 1 goal in 2 games. Not bad for the veteran. Honestly, like, our stats at this point are kind of irrelevant unless we were to make the playoffs. Instead of Kiviranta not really doing much, like, or, you know, Puljujärvi 1 point in 24 games. Defense. Heinola's up to an 81. He's looking great. 5 points for Lassie Thompson, up to a 79. Olli Levy, so usable NHLer. Haimasalmi's getting there, -10 though. And Mikkola and Risto. Goalie-wise, Husso, not quite doing too much. Do we have our second this year? No, we do not. We gave up our second in the Heinola-Brad Lambert deal with Winnipeg. So the Jets have our second rounder this year, which I was a little bit nervous about trading that second rounder. A little bit nervous about it, and it might come back to haunt us. Then again, that second rounder could be anything. It could even be a Ville Heinola or Brad Lambert as Sebastian Aho gets injured for the next 2 weeks, and we actually won a game without him. Tavo's back. Ville Polka's #1 center. Oh my God. Let's get Tavo back, and we'll put Maenalainen at center. Tremendous. That's his team in a game. We just won 6-1 against Arizona. Got Heinola and Lambert, unless the player's medium lead, I think you win the deal. That's fair. All right, Aho's back. Get our #1 player back. All right, Amari back for Tampere, but we're not too worried about that. So 11-20-6 as of January 2024. Currently dead last in our division, which isn't bad given the circumstances. Currently, though, we are 1 point above San Jose and Chicago. All right. Get the other Sebastian Aho. We cannot. He is Swedish. Despite them having the same exact name, one's a Finn, one's a Swede. So, here's our situation. We could still, debatedly, trade that first round pick at the deadline if there is a big player available. Right? Like if we see a Heiskanen, somebody like that, we could still make a big play. So this is just going to be, like, we can't really have a game plan right now. It's very situational. And our situation changes on a day-by-day basis. I'm going to change my name to Aho, go to Norway, and have a kid named Sebastian to complete the trifecta. Well, what about Estonia? What about Estonia? Which, by the way, I am hoping, when I do get to Finland, I'm hoping to take the ferry to Estonia just to explore Estonia for a day. And just to say I've been to Estonia, too. Unfortunately, Sweden, it's a bit too much of a haul. It's like a 2-hour flight, and it's just too damn expensive. But apparently there's a decently priced ferry over to Estonia. So I'm pretty pumped about that. So the day before deadline day, 16, 34, and 13 were pretty bad, and I believe we're dead last in the league. We are in our division. Sweet. Okay. So the first big question now. The trade deadline. Is there a deal that could entice us to trade the pick again? Apparently Sebastian Aho is on the block, but he's not. We're keeping him no matter what. Made you all good, buddy. Obviously, value-wise, Aho is our most valued asset aside from that top pick. Now, what I mean by is somebody worth it isn't necessarily like, oh, say Drysdale was a Finn. Like, they need to be on the block for us to really maximize. He's Swedish. Yeah. For us to really maximize the return. That's why I always look through the trade block more than anything else, because you guys have seen how difficult it can be to acquire somebody. Like you saw in the Toronto series, some of the trades, like, I'd have to, dude, I could give up 5 first-round picks for Rantanen. They wouldn't do it because they don't want to move him. And right now, there is not... Oof, Detroit signed Justin Hall. Jesus. There is... Ooh, so there is Olli Maatta out here for dirt cheap. Honestly. Honestly. What about Spencer Smallman for Olli Maatta? Okay, well, they're not going to give him up for that cheap. What about Spencer Smallman in a 7th for Olli Maatta? Hell yeah! Olli Maatta, welcome home for a 7th round pick. I mean, Detroit just viewed that as a cap dump. For me, I'm like, fuck yeah, I want Olli Maatta. He makes my team better. I don't think I missed anybody. We'll look in a minute. Edmonton had trouble signing Ryan McLeod. Kopitar's on the block. This medium elite guy is on the block, but the only reason to pick this guy up would be for the trade value, because we could get him for cheaper than what his trade value is, and then we could flip him really quickly. If we were to use this goalie who's not going to develop, it would still be too much. The problem is, though, yeah, that guy is still a bit too valuable for us to really pull anything off. So from the looks of it, there is not going to be that superstar level Finn to entice us to move on from this pick, which is expected, but we still had to look, do our due diligence. Oh, no, yeah, Ender, on my custom roster that's out there. Hellenis was on the block. He was a low 6. If I'm not mistaken. Pakarainen, who's a low 7th. Sorelli. Can't believe Vancouver's trying to trade Ekman Larson and Tyler Myers. Can't believe it. All right. Well, I think it's a pretty straightforward deadline then for us. I think it is. We get Olli Maatta in a very cheap deal, but we're going to hold on to this top pick. We'll have Vahalati to use at the draft to try and flip him. We do have a couple of other players here, of course, but not, still not a ton. It's not like Kasperi Kapanen could fetch us a 3rd rounder. I'd rather keep him. Venti's up a couple points this year. But yeah, like Teuvo, Haula, Luosterainen, they could fetch us a 3rd, maybe a 2nd, but for the most part, I'm good with holding on to him. Kasper Halttunen, if I am not mistaken, has gone up by 10. I'm fairly certain he was a 65 when we just drafted him last June. That is monstrous for us. Neiman and Coco. I didn't know you were getting rid of Coco. I guess I didn't look at goalies. That is monstrous development for us. Obviously, we can't land every Finnish goaltender, even if they're available. There is Laininen, who is not a bad little project goalie. Was he under contract? Yes, he was. Anthony Cirelli's been traded to Carolina. Is there anything I could get Laininen for? Buffalo would have too many skaters. Yeah, I'd have to do a 2-for-1. I don't think that's going to happen. Honestly, I'm not too worried about goalie prospects. I think we're good. I think we know that right now the game plan, we already have Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, so... Elvis Merzlikins on waivers. No, thank you. Not allowed to take him. So outside of picking up Olli Maatta, wow, we have 1 win in our last 10 games. There was nothing doing there. We're going to keep that pick. As in trade UPL, he doesn't have any value. Is the problem. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm okay with this. Mikkola probably ends up being the scratch. Right? I think Mikkola ends up being the scratch. Get a slight improvement on him in the form of Oli Mata. Heinola's up to an 82. Thompson's an 80. We're still going to be looking really good for the future here. But obviously these first 2 seasons, it greatly benefits us to be bad. So I am not complaining. Yeah, when we can get a usable NHL defender like Oli Mata for a 7th round pick, essentially, I'm not that upset. Oof. Concussion for Kapanen. He'll be out for a little bit. Not too long, though. Kasper Putio goes down to injury. Kapanen is back. Get Maenalainen out of there. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. So we know that there will be 2 Finns projected in the top 5, which is rather interesting. 2 Finns in the top 5. I imagine we'll only be able to land one of them. Unless somebody wants to trade the pick, in which case we try to figure it out. As Olli Juolevi suffers a concussion. Joni Jurmo's down with an injury at the end of the season. We're just going to leave Olli out. All right, so 26, 41, and 15 to end the season. Dead last in the Metro. And I would imagine last in the league yet again. As New Jersey will play Washington, the New York Rangers on 102 make the playoffs. And I believe they will play Philly while Florida plays Toronto, Ottawa, and Tampa. So we got Ottawa's pick last year, which was good. Let's see where we are here. The entire league. Oof, okay, wow. So we only have the 3rd best odds, but to be honest, maybe those are the best odds. As Chicago and Los Angeles were worse. We were one of 4 teams to finish with under 70 points. We only scored 205 goals, which was actually better than some teams that were significantly higher than us in the standings, Arizona. Goals against, 250. 3rd most in the league. But yeah, somehow we weren't the worst team. Fair enough. Sebastian Aho, 69 points on the season, 34 goals. Teuvo, Kapanen over 50. Kotkaniemi, Luotsarinen over 40. Järventie had 32. Playing next to Aho this season. Puistonen, 29. And our lowest regular scoring player was Jesse Puljujärvi. Defensively, 61 points for Ville Heinola. No regrets over getting that trade to go through with the Jets. No regrets whatsoever. My God. My God, my God. That worked out very well. Lassie Thompson, 29 points. And then Risto was tied with Olli Juolevi. Olli Juolevi, by the way, a minus 31 on the season. Not even the team worst. Goalie-wise, decent numbers given how bad we were for Husso and Ranta. Around the league, he's still broken. Connor McDavid, Zach Hyman, Kaprizov, Draisaitl, Pasternak, and Connor all break 100 points. So literally Edmonton's top line all over 100 points. The top goal scorer with 61 is Ovechkin. You got Kaprizov, Pasternak, Hughes, McDavid, Matthews, and Thompson all hitting 50. And then defensively, we know he's broken. It's Evan Bouchard. You had Yossi really up there too. I mean, there were some high-scoring defenders this year, to say the least. Top goal scorer with 39 goals, Roman Yossi, as a defenseman. Jesus. Goalies, the winningest with 41, Ottawa's Anton Forsberg. Shutout leader with 9. It's a tie between Shesterkin and Varlamov for Buffalo. While save percentage king really is Shesterkin, but shout out to Stolars and Spencer Martin. Not bad. Rookie of the year, San Jose's Connor Bedard. Shout out to P.O. Joseph, Riley Kidney, Shane Wright. It's Connor Bedard. 73 points in 81 games as a rookie is just nuts. Absolutely nuts. The AHL team, I would imagine, missed the... No! The Tentaskills are in the playoffs. Okay. I was not expecting that. The Tempera Tentaskills are in the playoffs. Who would have thought? Now, the big question is... would Heinola and Heimasalmi technically take a hit by being sent down to the AHL? Would they take a hit in their overall by being sent down to the AHL for a Calder Cup run? I'm afraid, honestly, to drop them. I'm afraid to drop Yarventi, too. I don't think we're going to. I'd love for them to get that playoff time, but I'm afraid to drop them, and suddenly it's like, oh, actually, well, I didn't improve by as much this year because you put me in the minors. So. All right, we have no one to really worry about. Yeah, Haltonen, Lambert, good development this year. And we will let the AHL team go to work. We're going to get Martikainen in there. Jani Jurmo for the moment is healthy. Lankinen and Luukkonen, Kevin Lankinen, will get the start. So the Tampere Tentaskills, what a fucking name, play the Rochester Americans. Despite winning one more game, they did not have home ice advantage. 3-0 win in their first playoff game. 5-3 in game number 2. Jani Jurmo breaks his nose again. 6-1 in game number 3. And a loss in game 4. Game 5, there it is. So, wow. Tampere win the series in 5. Very, very convincing for them. Great series for Haltonen, Lambert, Billy Polka, but especially these top 2 we're excited about. And a phenomenal, not great wouldn't have sufficed, a phenomenal series for Kevin Lankinen. That is some good stuff right there. As Jurmo is healthy, we should get him back in. For Nick Almari, and again, hopefully Yoni can stay healthy for once, please, for the love of God. So who is it going to be in round number 2 for the Tentaskills? It will be the Cleveland Monsters, who won 51 games. Columbus's AHL team. And it's a 1-1 split. Make it, wow, back-to-back shutouts, a 2-1 series lead for us. Brad Lambert suffers a concussion in a losing effort. GG's, we're done. Game 5, we lose again. Game 6, well, we did force Game 7. Still no Brad Lambert. Game 7 against Cleveland. Can we hold on? 1-0. Joni Jurmo scores. Amers Leakins, too. Second period. Oof. Pitya scored on Lankinen. Someone I'd like to get. But Koivunen and Putios. So 2 goals from defensemen. And we are moving on to the conference finals. Otto Koivula's empty netter seals the deal. So even without Brad Lambert, we get the job done. We're moving on to the conference final. The logo is too powerful. It'll be Abbotsford, Grand Rapids, and we will be taking on the Springfield Thunderbirds. I fucking hate them still. I will never not hate the Springfield Thunderbirds. I will never, ever not hate them. Taylor Fredune, we need you out for Martikainen. We need Jani Jurmo in. And we are good to go for the 3rd round against Hello Springfield. Let's do it. Game number 1 and a victory for Springfield. We're down 2-0. Make that 2-1. Series is tied 2-2. 8-1 win in Game 5. Tampa heading to the Calder Cup final against the Abbotsford Canucks. Season 2 in our AHL team. Taking on Abbotsford, who obviously have one player in particular that I really hope is a future member of this team. They're not bad, though. They're not bad. Goaltender, Nikita Tolopio, the Belarusian. And a Latvian legend. They're not bad. They got the best player of the series, though. On either side. Game number 1, 7-2 win. Game number 2, a 7-1 loss. Game number 3, a 3-0 loss. Game 4, a 3-1 loss. Oh, no. Game 5. Fuck. We made it all the way to the final. But the Abbotsford Canucks win the Calder Cup in 5 games. As the Minnesota Wild win the Stanley Cup, defeating the Tampa Bay Lightning in 6. So Kirill Kaprizov and the Wild get it done. But yeah, losing in the Calder Cup final. That's a shame. Kasper Halttunen did great, though. He really did. We'll take a look at our AHL stats in a minute. But for Minnesota, I mean, yeah, Kaprizov, Zook, Hartman, Marco Rossi's there. They got him Fabian Lysell from the Bruins, but for the most part, no major changes. They just had some younger guys get better. And Marc-Andre Fleury, granted he's hurt at the end, but Marc-Andre Fleury wins one more Stanley Cup. And AHL-wise, it was Suomi who actually led the team in points, but Simon Taival was very, very close. It's actually not showing Halttunen, so I think it automatically called him up to the NHL roster, which is a good sign. In terms of award winners in the AHL, now that we know that Abbotsford have won the Cup, Aatu Ratu was the top point getter, as well as league MVP. Most goals, Luca Del Bel Blues. It's also the top rookie. The top defenseman, Gavin Bayreuther, Seattle Kraken legend. Top goaltender, Mitch Gibson. And the MVP of the Calder Cup playoffs, Aiden McDonough. NHL-wise, Evan Bouchard won the Art Ross Trophy. Zach Hyman won the Hart. My God. Are we still doing a Leafs franchise? That's what the hell this feels like. Zach Hyman wins the Hart. Evan Bouchard wins the Norris. That might be the lowest name. I mean, who's the lowest name value? Hyman or Burakovsky to win a Hart? Calder goes to Connor Bedard. Calder goes to Connor Bedard. No surprise there. Did not win the Hart as a D-man and won the Art Ross? Good question. Kaprizov wins the Conn Smythe. Shesterkin the Vezina. The more useless awards. Barkov wins another Selke. Zach Hyman wins the Ted Lindsay. And Ovi wins another Rocket Richard. What a year for Zach Hyman. And what a year for the Finns. But our next question is, will it get a little bit better? Now, quickly, we have some contracts that I would like to sort out. Kakkonen does not want that much, which is great. No problem signing him to that, if he'll take it. Kevin Lankinen as well. I mean, Jesus, if these guys will take dirt cheap money, why the hell not? Luukkonen's an RFA. If we can get that cleared up soon, then so be it. Defensively, all expiring. Ville Heinola is an RFA. Oh, yeah, he wants to get paid big time. Okay. I think he went up to an 87, by the way. Jesus Christ, did we fleece Winnipeg or what? I think I have to sign him to this 3-year deal because I am petrified that he will get a qualifying offer. He'll get an offer sheet. So $6.8 million for 3 years is still great. And yeah, he jumped from a high 4 to a medium elite. Good eye. Good eye. That's one of the best examples of prospect development I think I've ever seen. So we're going to go 6.8 for 3 years. He'll still be an RFA when that deal is up. You cannot say I lost the Heinola-Lambert trade. No kidding. Lassie Thompson is up to an 82. And honestly, I don't know if it still punishes you for signing players to 8-year deals early. But we could sign Lassie Thompson potentially for $4.9 million for 8 years, and I am going to do that. Oli Levy. We will let Oli Levy's situation wind down because he wants to be a bit overpaid. On the wing, Kasperi Kapanen. $5 million over 3 years isn't too bad for him. Puljujärvi's down to a 76. That's sad as fuck. We'll just let him take the qualifying offer. He's always going to be cheap. Luottarinen. So, Lamp, in previous years, if you were to sign the contract scaling in like NHL 19, 18, around that time was a bit weird. So you used to be able to sign younger prospects to 8-year deals, but the game would almost punish you for doing that. It's like, we know you're being cheap, so it would stunt their development. It's like they'd get lazy because they secured the bag. I don't know if it still plays out that way in this game or not. I hope it doesn't, but it might. Luottarinen, gotta be honest, you're cheap enough, you could still get better. I'm looking at another 8-year deal. I would love that contract control. We'll go $2.7 million for 8 years. I mean, you could be a very, very valuable player for us long term. Whereas Teuvo, same thing. I can just sign you to what you want. Heponiemi doesn't matter as much. Koivula. And then the big one, Sebastian Aho. Obviously, we're looking at an 8-year deal for our captain as well. If he were to accept an 85% trick, it would basically be $10 million over 8 years, which is worth it. Simon Tyval. We still have a lot of time before his RFA years are up. You could go 8 years to bring him up to age 30 already, or you could wait 4 years, but then potentially pay this guy a hell of a lot more for what an 8-year deal would be. I'm gonna try to be cheap with Simon Tyval and be risky about this. Go $1.2 million for 8 years, which would be crazy if he still develops. So we'll see what happens over the next few days. Lankinen extends. Simon Tyval does extend. Okay. Aho is back. 8 years, 10 mil. Lassie Thompson. What about Heinola? Teuvo. Kaapo Kähkönen. Luukkonen. Luottarinen. Kapanen. Ville Heinola takes the deal. Okay. So it's not an 8-year deal for Heinola, but 3-year deal, pretty cheap. He's going to be expensive at the end of this contract anyway, but I couldn't pay him $18 million. So honestly, that is a tidy bit of business there. I mean, so we'll be paying Heinola from under rookie max to 6.8. Aho gets a decent pay bump. Kapanen gets a decent pay bump as well. Teuvo technically takes a pay cut. Luottarinen goes up a bit. Lassie Thompson goes way up. But all in all, I do feel like we're set up pretty well because we obviously, if we get in trouble, we have some contracts that we can move. No problem. So I really do like the spot that we're in right now. And we got rid of a lot of those problems. We took care of business early. Yeah, the Risto contract's brutal, for example, but I don't think it's untradeable. So here we go, everybody. Lottery results. We have the third best odds. There are 2 Finns in the top 5 last we knew. And they're still there. Ville Varakis and Petri Pettinen. There are other Finns outside the top 5, but those are the 2. Where will we be selecting? We land the number 1 overall pick. We get our choice. And potentially, now here's the hope that Vegas or Chicago wants to move their pick. Because if they do, we can trade down, get a little bit back, and still get someone that we want. The other side is would I have the value to get both?